Frank Powers, and this is Lifestyle Tucson, the program where I speak to our neighbors, the people behind the scenes of our amazing organizations that are 501c3 nonprofits. Our friends are informing you how they serve our community, and they're here to give you updates on future projects. Let's make some old friends today. Yeah. Homelessness is a big issue we discuss here on Lifestyle Tucson with many organizations. Everyone has a bigger and bigger opinion on homelessness every year, and people often get angry at the problem. I have a secret that's going to help you. Help them. That's how you get rid of the homeless, for all you people that are a little angry about it. You've got to help the homeless, and then they won't be around anymore bothering you with all of their problems. But how do we help the homeless? It's something that we always ask. And how do we help our homeless heroes, the most important, veterans? Those special citizens that helped all of us by sacrificing a lot to have the freedom we have to fight for, or more realistically, have someone fight for us. It's a question that was asked in 1989 by a group of individuals concerned about the rising number of homeless veterans on the streets of Tucson, and they took action, and Esperanza En Escalante was formed. On any given day, 50,000 veterans are homeless and living on the streets. The mission of Esperanza is to provide transitional and permanent supportive housing for homeless veterans and veterans' families, as well as offer rehabilitation in order to nurture and support the transition from homelessness to self-sufficiency. Located on approximately 19 acres, EEE is continually being evaluated and updated, always with the needs of our veterans in mind. They provide housing, social services, programs, and transportation to assist a veteran's transition into everyday life. They work closely with the City of Tucson, the State of Arizona, the Veterans Administration, and many other institutions and organizations meeting the physical and social needs of our honored veterans. And today, I'm fortunate enough to speak with board member extraordinaire Nathania Chaney, marketing and event director Jabari Davis, and Suzanne Bond, CEO of Esperanza En Escalante. All three of you, welcome to Lifestyle Tucson.
Hey, good morning.
Usually I go around the whole room and we do it one by one, but I was caught up in all that reading.
That's right.
So let's actually say hi to everybody. So we do have Suzanne Bond is our CEO. Suzanne, welcome to Lifestyle Tucson. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Frank.
I'm
Glad
excited
to be here.
Excited to talk to you yet again. It's been great to get involved with your organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah, since we met, I've now been a part of just volunteering and helping out, hosting, emceeing some of the job fairs, some of the events. You bought me lunch. It was really a good time. But I really do appreciate all the stuff that you're doing. It's nice to go down there and see everything that's happening. You don't just put on a job fair. There was some entertainment there with Billy Shaw Jr. At one of the ones that I went to. That was really good. And it's really nice to see what you're doing to help everybody in the community, because it's a job fair coming up again. That is not just for veterans, but also all members of our community. So we'll learn all about that. And we're going to learn about everything that your organization is up to. But I gave a little 101 in the history of what's going on. Why don't you tell me everything that your organization, Esperanza En Escalante, is all about?
Well, right now we're basically full. We have every bed full that we have. We provide transitional housing. So our objective is to get veterans off the street. We take same-day referrals. We move them into our housing. We have 72 units. Some of that is reserved for families. And we work with them to overcome whatever barriers they have to housing. And some of them don't have many barriers. They might have just got priced out of their apartment, and they might need some help getting into a new one. And then others have major barriers. They might have just come out of incarceration. They might have a lot of evictions on their record. They might have a lot of mental health issues, those type of things. And so we support them through case management, job training, addiction support, everything they need to get back on their feet. It's the greatest community in the world. I think mostly what happens on our campus is that the veterans support each other. It's an all-veterans campus, which makes it so cool. We welcome them with their pets, and so there's a lot of healing that goes on there. We also have long-term housing that we provide supports to make sure the veterans can maintain that housing. And really, it's the greatest job I've ever had, and such a wonderful place.
Oh, well, you make it sound like it is a really great, very rewarding job, obviously, a great career. How long have you been doing it?
I've been at Esperanza for 3 years.
Yeah.
I've served the homeless community for many more years than that. We're not going to go into how old I am. But yeah, it is. It's such a pleasure to be there, and we have such a great team. So it is just a ball. Really.
Well, that's awesome. And again, I've been down there. It's good to meet people. It's good to see people down there. And Because they're taking care of each other, because they're neighbors. It's a community. I mean, that's what it is, this great almost village that you have. It's such a big, big area, and they're all veterans, so they know they're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Right?
No one can relate to a veteran better than another veteran.
I believe that.
They are definitely brothers and sisters in arms, and they support each other in a way that is unimaginable. And it's not just the veterans on campus. It's all the veterans organizations in Tucson. They do for each other in a way that is just amazing, because only they can understand the sacrifice that they have made. And I would say all of the veterans on our campus are homeless because of their service.
Yeah.
That is one of the incredible sacrifices they have made. And so, we really owe it to them to get them back on their feet. And they work so hard. They get back into our campus. They walk through the door and you're like, oh, God, that guy is tired. And, he or she might sleep for the first 3 days. But they shower, they shave, they look like you and I, 3 days later, and they are looking for jobs and working on themselves, as soon as they are physically and mentally able to. It's really an incredible community. And really I always say they're the OG of community service. They want to give back as soon as they can. They start supporting each other. They support us. They want to volunteer. They want to give back. Just such a cool community.
It is really nice to hear about that and hear all the positivity, because that's not something that we often hear about. You can tell by some of my intro, it's like, I hear the complaining a lot.
Oh, for sure.
Right? You hear the complaining as if they're not people, right?
Yep.
And that's just talking about homeless folks, let alone like, how dare you talk about veterans like that? And that's something that is interesting that you even say. How come you think that that's that pattern? Why are so many veterans winding up in a homeless situation?
Well, the majority of veterans on our campus have post-traumatic stress disorder. They have anxiety disorder and depression. And because of that, sometimes you turn to drug use, self-medicating. A lot of times you might have trouble interacting with your family members, and that relationship breaks. You might have a hard time keeping a job. One veteran was telling me, because of my mental health issues, I tend to yell at people a lot. And in the military, that was great. No one cared if I yelled at them. But as soon as I got a job, I'd yell at somebody and get fired right away. And so some of those skills that are okay when you're in the military, they aren't okay in civilian life. And so there is a million reasons why veterans are homelessness. Physical disability is a huge one. A lot of the veterans that come to us have been hospitalized for 3 or more months. You lose everything if you're a single veteran and you're living paycheck to paycheck and you've been hospitalized for 3 months. And so there is a variety of reasons that people are homeless, but none of them are because you're a bad person. And so many of them, when we sit down and talk, are like, I can't believe that happened to me. I can't believe I'm here now, and I can't believe where I was, because none of us can imagine it. And I think that is some of why we look at the homeless community and think they are the other, because we never want to imagine it for ourselves. And yet we know the majority of people in this town are living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
And so it could be them, could be you and I. And so we need to stop demonizing this community, start lifting them up, because that's what they deserve. And I can tell you, these are good people that deserve that.
Well, I believe it, because you're the person that's actually dealing with these people as a whole person, not some two-dimensional caricature that we like to think about when it comes to a homeless person.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, because this bothers me. Okay. How come there is not just a default saving system for any veteran? And I'll even just say veteran. That's like missing a limb. When I see someone in a wheelchair that's homeless and they're using their one leg that they have to get up and down the divide of the street while they're still asking for help, what? Come on. I mean, why is there not something for like, okay, you're literally missing a leg because of what you have dealt with and you served. We'll take care of you. In fact, we're not even going to find you a job. Why do we need to make people work when it is like that person can't even stand up?
Well, I will say there are programs for people. But a lot of our veterans don't want to be helped. They are a very proud bunch. You know, oftentimes when they come in, they are so worn down because they do not want help. They are the helpers, remember.
Right.
And a lot of them do not want to be associated with our government at all. You know, they feel like they were failed by the military. So why do they want to reassociate themselves with what they consider the military and the VA? So there's a lot of barriers in that way. And they are so deserving of the help, but they don't want it. And it's just because they're a proud bunch. So there's different reasons that people don't want to get involved. You know, in fact, you know, our campus, it's a drug and alcohol-free campus.
Right.
You know, if you're somebody who has been relying on alcohol since you were 14 to help you cope, you know, someone telling you can't do that anymore is a very difficult thing. And so, I'm one that believes that you have to have different housing options for different people because not everyone is in the same spot.
Right.
And unfortunately, the way that our government funding is working is a one-size-fits-all. And of course, our veterans are not one-size-fits-all right now. So we do need different options for people. And we have to, you know, acknowledge that. I think that's one thing that we love to do too. Like, you know, look at somebody who might be addicted and look at that person as if they're a bad person, a failure. We have never walked in that person's shoes. You know, that person probably is struggling every night to sleep. We have veterans that are screaming out every night because they are reliving their trauma. Oof. You know, who are we to tell them who they have to be in the morning? And that is something that as a culture we are doing. But first, let's stop and think about what is it that happened to them because they were serving us? And let's have some compassion. And
Right.
I think that is something that we can all use a little more of is some empathy. Sit down and talk to the person. And that's what I find. I think that people would be surprised about how empathetic the homeless population is of us. You know, that's been something in my entire career that I've always had a homeless community that looked out for me in the most amazing ways because I've shared kindness with them. But these are people that really, if you just stopped and said hello and gave them some grace, you would find that they have incredible grace for us. They are struggling with something that we wouldn't maybe crumble ourselves under.
I mean, I believe that. It takes a great strength to survive.
You know, I also share that a lot of the people that end up in homelessness, and it's not everyone, but a lot of times those military members that end up in homelessness, they were escaping trauma at home.
True.
They went to the military because they were living something that was horrific, and that was their escape. Then they went into the military and they had more trauma. I mean, it might be sexual trauma that happened to so many women that have served, might have been combat trauma, you know. And then they came back. They didn't have those loving arms to fall back into because those family members were not there for them anymore. They became homeless and got head injuries, which is a huge thing. They were traumatized out there again. And so it's like, just such a pattern of trauma.
And sometimes it doesn't take much. So my brother-in-law served. He was a Marine. And my sister told me about, like, the nights that he would be haunted by this one incident that happened where he poked his head up out of wherever he was hiding out of and got shot in the helmet. And fine. He went to, it hit his helmet.
Yeah.
It recurred over and over. He could not. And then the psychological fact of that's how close he came to getting shot in the head haunted him.
Right.
Just that's the thing about it. The psychological situation of that moment haunted him.
Yes, of course.
And it's a fascinating thing to think about. And I have some other friends that I know that they're struggling with stuff because they are tough guys and they didn't deal with some of that stuff. And then they got back and they do things kind of cookie cutter by like, I lived the life I'm supposed to, whatever. Why am I unsatisfied at 40 and getting a divorce and doing all this stuff because I'm having these emotional breaks.
Right.
Yes. And it's hard. It's hard.
Well,
to witness.
Yeah, and the average veteran falling to homelessness right now is over the age of 65.
Wow.
They are our Vietnam veterans.
Yeah, still.
And our Vietnam veterans could not ask for help.
Right.
They could not expose that they had a mental health issue.
Yeah.
Because that would have gotten them kicked out of the military. It would have had them been ostracized. There was no room for that.
Yeah.
And so they kept it inside.
Yeah,
and
it was a different generation and a different time of that sort of thing. Mental health did not even exist as a term when those boys are going to Vietnam. And remember, boys, that's the point. All young men, all young people getting pulled out of their lives and having to go do that. And it's a shocking thing to think about that wasn't all that long ago. They almost forget that these people are still here and they're the ones that are out there on the street that we need to help. And there's a lot of people, but there's also a lot of people sitting in the studio. So why don't we meet some of the fine team helping you?
Yes,
all right?
absolutely.
Because yes, you're breaking our hearts. That's your job, obviously, but you're also healing our hearts by inspiring us with how good you are. And the thing that you said about grace, that's why I was like, I got to stop making note. I think that was just a very beautiful sentiment, what you said, by giving them some grace. And I think that that's very, very important. So let's ask Nathania, tell me about some of your experience as board member extraordinaire and just some of what you've been doing helping out this organization. Then we got to talk about the big event coming up, helping them out with the workforce.
Yeah, there's some really exciting stuff that's going on. You know, my goal is always to have people come and visit the campus because it's the connection that you make with understanding what's going on and what the mission is, but most importantly, who you're impacting. And I think that's the missing bridge. Like we've been talking about before, oftentimes it's so easy to walk by an unhoused individual, not look them in the eyes, not pay any attention, just keep on walking and keep focused. And so to be on campus and really share a camaraderie, share a meal with one of them, share some stories and just have some conversation, that's where the impact for me is. And that's always my mission, is to get as many people on campus as possible. So it's just been wonderful. It's the most wonderful reception. I always just feel like just a new person after I walk in there and just can look at these people in the eyes and sit with them and hear their stories and be thankful for the service that they gave for us. It's just a really beautiful place with the most incredible support system and staff. And it's just, they're just really lucky to have a safe place to land. It's just a privilege to be able to be there with them.
If you want to go visit, you can probably just give a phone call, 520-571-8294. They are located at 3700 South Kaye Polar.
Right outside of the Boneyard. And a lot of people drive by and don't even realize that it's there, but it's this amazing 14, 17-acre campus kind of tucked away back there. So, yeah, you should all come down and check it out.
Yeah, and go check them out, obviously, online as well. You can go follow them on Instagram at EEE Veterans. They're also on Facebook at EEE Veterans. And the website, of course, is eeveterans.org. Make sure you use a .org. It's very important. So everything you're saying is true. We talk in this format, but then I did love, like, when I actually go down there and we're a bit even more like people, hang out, talk, and really experience everything you are talking about here. Because there is that. Again, I had lunch with those veterans, making jokes, right? Doing all that fun stuff. And it's good. Nothing like making a grouchy old man laugh is my favorite. Okay?
It's so true.
Right. So I do love going down there and getting in touch with some of these folks so that it makes, this show better, because I like to put my money where my mouth is and telling everybody, remember, if you can't donate money, which you should, donate your time. And by the way, I did both because I gave you my tax credit because we all get to donate our Arizona tax credit. And you don't have to donate the whole thing to one organization, but you can. So I picked a few of my favorite guests that I've had on the show as I learn all about the great groups in town. And I donated that, as well as volunteered and donated to go host that thing because you tried to pay me. And I donated that money back as well.
So nice.
Awesome.
That's right. And Jabari's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, listen, okay, I was at that thing. You don't need to pay me for that. That was fine. I had a hot dog and that was great. Well, because it was nice to get together. It was just a nice morning. Sometimes that's what people forget because it's hard to leave your house. Get out of your house on a Tuesday because the next one coming up is going to be Tuesday.
Yep.
Let's get all the details about it from Jabari and we'll find out when you can get involved and how you can just show up. Because I even ran into an old friend that was looking for a job at that job fair that has nothing to do with being a veteran. She just knew there was a job fair.
Yeah.
And I think she did end up getting a job that day, which is pretty impressive and fascinating.
I love that for her.
Absolutely. So, Jabari, tell me about the next big job fair that is coming up.
Yeah, and thank you again for this opportunity. It's our second annual Esperanza Job and Resource Fair. It's going to be on November 4th, which is a Tuesday, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And really, we want like, beyond the job opportunities and resource opportunities. It's a great situation to bring veterans, bring the community together. Kind of piggybacking on what all three of you have just been mentioning, getting people to see veterans for people. Being able to humanize people, I think, makes it more realistic for for the community. When you just hear about things, you hear about statistics, or you hear about this number of people are on the street. Not that you don't care about it, it's just not always personalized. When you're able to sit down, sit across from a veteran, whether it's like eating a meal or discussing a job opportunity or resources or whatever, you really get a sense for the person. As opposed to just just the cause. So this is an opportunity to like I said, it's veteran centered, but it's open to the entire community, and we're hoping that we get a great turnout.
What are some of the organizations that are going to be down there? Because I met a bunch of great organizations down there, and even ones that I then got to be guests on here, whether it was Pima Community College, I think might have been down there, or at least Pima County was down there. So what are some of the great booths and opportunities that people are going to have there? I think Fry's was down there, right? There was some food stores down there that people were looking there. Who else?
Yeah, this time it's going to be we're fortunate enough to have Walmart will be participating, Amazon will be participating.
There you go.
The Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona will join us, as well as Revolution Mortgage and Long Realty. We have Goodwill Industries International joining us, Savita Careers. So we have a wide variety of of opportunities, whether it's resources or employment. But we're all, even though the event is coming up here November 4th, we're still looking for if you have a business or you have a resource that you feel would benefit this population, we certainly would take that call and add you to the mix.
Let me ask, are you going to Rockin' for Heroes? So Rockin' for Heroes, I think I might have mentioned it, but it's a concert for veterans.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, and it's coming up, so you should see if they either still have booths there so you can go and show up, but it's a concert for veterans, active military, Gold Star families, and first responders. It's a couple that started because they lost their son, and the first responders were so nice to them that we should do something. So this is their 5th year doing it, so they're very new as well. But great organization. So you should reach out to them. Maybe you get a table there or a booth, or just do something together, because they're just a nice couple that have now actually turned this in. And I did help them this past year really connect a couple of dots to get bigger.
That's great. And you know what? I could introduce them to some of our funding groups.
Yes.
That might be able to support them.
Yes, because they definitely need that help.
All right, thank you.
Leave that out. So how often do you do? So this is the second annual job fair, but I feel like it hasn't been that long since we've hung out. Haven't you done a few other things throughout the year?
Well, what we did was last year, we started this effort last year with an individual job fair and then an additional resource fair.
Okay.
So this year we're combining the two.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay, great. How much does this cost to attend? $1,000, right, to go show up at this thing?
Absolutely free.
Free? What a great resource.
Free of charge.
Yeah, plenty of resources. It's including that, your opportunity, right? Because there'll probably be food trucks there. I'm sure those will not be inclusive, so you'll be able to grab a lunch while you're checking things out on this Tuesday. Did you know who's showing up there for lunch?
Yes, we were fortunate enough to have this gentleman. It's a veteran-owned food truck named Happy Kafoya, and I hope that I pronounced that correctly. It is Guamanian food.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you were there.
I was for that. It was amazing.
Absolutely
it was so
spectacular.
Ever.
Yeah.
So we're definitely looking forward to that as well.
So it's just a good opportunity to get out there, to network. If you're a veteran, go show up. Even if you don't need a job, go hang out with some other veterans. Maybe give them some advice, give them some inspiration, or go learn something for yourself. Maybe there's someone in your life that does need a new job opportunity. Go check it out. Again, my roommate works at Amazon. You know what? Pretty good company to work for, actually, because he worked there for a good chunk of time. Then they paid for him to get online classes. And he took these online classes, so that now he knows how to do cybersecurity, and now he's applying for that. So he absolutely used Amazon as a stepping stone to get educated, to then get a career, and that's important. Yep, don't sleep on these things. It can be your lily pad to jump to the next spot, to jump to the next thing, to find your career. Not just a job, but perhaps a career. So that's something to think about too. So get involved. And when, again, remind people the date just one more time again.
Tuesday, November 4th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
All right. So that's going to be a good time. There's also other things that if you want to get involved there, and the veteran exclusive food bank that you offer, that's happening. It happens on Tuesdays that you can go down there if you are a veteran. There's also an important day when it comes to your transitional housing program. It's working toward that permanent housing. It says this is your day. So that's Tuesdays that you're doing that with the food bank. And then Thursdays, it's open to everyone, both veterans and residents of lower income and civilians from the surrounding community. Those hours are 10 a.m. to 12 for veterans only on Tuesdays, 9 a.m. to 11, open to all community members. That is everything you're doing there with the community food bank. So that's an important thing that we barely even touched on as time's running out. My goodness. Yes. Are there any last calls to action that you have? I've really enjoyed this episode. Again, even Suzanne, everything you were saying in the front end of this, I thought was just very, very just informative, nice, moving. So any last just calls to action to anybody out there?
You know, we are running low on food because of the shutdown. So if you are able to donate to our food bank, we would love that. We also always need paper towels and toilet paper. It's a huge happy family, and we always need those things. And please consider us for any of your donations. If you want to check out our wish list, it's at eeveterans.org. And we have a nice list of all the things we need there. And, please come and see us really anytime, 9 to 5. If I hear you're there, I will come out and see you, show you around, and introduce you to some wonderful veterans. So love to see you on campus.
That's the spirit. There's an invitation for you. Go on that website, donate some money, donate your time if you can. Donate some of these great things because there's a whole list of them, whether it's pillows, blankets, paper towels, toilet paper, bar soap, all these kind of regular personal hygiene items, shelf-stable things that they are looking for. Help them out because if you can, you should. That's the spirit. Because today, we made friends with board member extraordinaire Nathania Chaney, marketing and event director Jabari Davis, and Suzanne Bonds, CEO of Esperanza En Escalante, providing housing, social services, programs, and transportation to assist veterans transition into everyday life. And I'll just add this, offering a little grace. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us, Frank.
This was, stop. This was Lifestyle Tucson. Bing, bong, bing. Time for a recap. I really love the great people at this organization. I've gotten so involved with all the stuff that they do. They actually were the organization that the Celtic Festival and Scottish Highland Games made their beneficiary just this past year, and I met a bunch of them, and they help out with that. So it's just nice to actually make friends with people that really care and help people out. They work till exhaustion because I got to hang out with them a bit more and even learn about Suzanne's life, and it was just fascinating. You should get to know these people and know the people they're trying to help because Esperanza En Escalante is doing a lot. They are located at 3700 South Calle Polar in Tucson. 520-571-8294 is the phone number. Follow them on Facebook over at facebook.com/EEE-veterans. And then Instagram is also at EEE-veterans. But they're an important organization. As I was saying, I donated a portion of my Arizona tax credit to them. So they qualify for that. Think about that if that is within your ability, because it is. We all get an Arizona tax credit. It's not even putting money, it's not even asking you to give out of your own pocket. So keep that in mind with all these great organizations. It's very important to not miss that opportunity to help out. So their job and resource fair is going to be November 4th. It's a Tuesday. It's coming right up from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. So don't miss that. And remember, it's not just for veterans. It's for lots of folks. So I went to it once, helped them out with it, volunteered, did some fun stuff there. Food trucks were good. You heard it's a veteran-owned food truck. So it's a great event. Tell someone in your life that might need a reason to get out of the house and get their resume out there and get some advice. I helped a few folks at this thing just with tips like that when I was volunteering. So, because young folks, they need a little help. So it's a good, important thing to help people get jobs. So I want to again thank our old friends at Esperanza En Escalante for joining me today. You've been listening to Lifestyle Tucson. If you're a nonprofit that would like to be on the show, email lifestyletucson@gmail.com. For more information about this program or to listen to something you may have missed, go to the Sunday Mornings page on klpx.com, kfma.com, mixfm.com, espntucson.com, or crankthehanktucson.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes and Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts, I'll just say, care about veterans. How about that? Follow on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Lifestyle Tucson, because I'm your BFF, your best Frank forever, Frank Powers. And toot toot Tucson, I love you the most.